So, I'm making this video today because I have a complaint about the game Dominion. It's a card game, and what you do is you play cards. Like this card, for example, gives you 2 actions, 2 coins, and an extra buy. And so I play that card along with any money that I have. Obviously you have to start out with some money. I'm not going to explain the whole game. Anyway, then you buy victory points like this. This is 6 victory points. Usually a winning score is like around 30 to 40. There's also curses, which are negative points. So that's basically the game. You play cards. You have action cards, you have money cards, and you just get money and buy victory points. The card I have a complaint about is the witch card. The witch gives the other player a curse. So it gives the other player negative points. Also, these curse cards don't do anything. So if your hand gets filled with them, if your deck is filled with them, it's going to be harder to play action cards. It's going to be harder to have money in your hand because it's going to be polluted with this. Now, the concept of getting curses, I'm perfectly fine with. I don't have a problem with that. I thought at first maybe I had a problem with the witch because I didn't like the curses, but there's ways to get rid of curses. This card here is a 2-cost card. It only costs 2 coins, and it lets you trash up to 4 cards. So, for 2 coins, if you have that card, as an option, you can purchase it and you can trash those curses. There's also this card, which lets you look at the top 2 cards of your deck and trash or discard them. So that's all fine. I'm cool with curses. You can even remodel. There's a remodel card that lets you trash a card and then get a card that's the same cost or up to 2 more. So I could trash a curse, which is a 0-cost card, and get up to a 2-cost card. There's ways to work around it. Here's my problem, though. The cards that you can purchase from usually range from about 2 coins to 5 coins. Now the gold is a 6-cost card, and gold is worth 3 coins. And there's also a few other cards that cost 6 or more, but for the most part, it's between 2 coins and 5 coins. All of the 5-cost cards are pretty good in the base set. We have this card, which, as I told you, lets you look at the top 2 cards and trash or discard, put them back in any order. Also lets you draw another card and lets you perform another action. And this market card gives you an extra card, an extra action, an extra coin, gives you an extra buy, so you can buy 2 cards if you want during that turn. This gives you 2 cards and an extra action. This is really good for going through your deck. The library card lets you draw until you have 7 cards in hand, skipping any action cards, so if all you want to do is draw money, you can. The mine card lets you trash a treasure, like a copper, upgrade it to a silver and put it in your hand so you can use it. Or you can trash a silver, upgrade it to a gold, put it in your hand so you can use it. These are really useful cards. The 5-cost card, the Bandit, it's an attack card, which I don't need to explain, but also it gives you gold. It's a 5-cost card that gives you 6-cost cards. It's great. Love it. If you take the Chapel and get rid of all your shitty cards and just use the Bandit and fill your deck with gold, that works well. And this is only going to cost you 2 coins. That's it. So all the 5-cost cards in the base set do something wonderful. The Witch, all she does is let you draw 2 cards and give the other player a curse, which they could ultimately trash or remodel. And the curse is only gonna cost the player 1 point. So when the highest cost card, well, it's not the highest, there are victory cards that are worth more, but usually for 8 coins, I can buy 6 victory points. So 1 point isn't going to do much. Now, the instant where it might do something is if my opponent has a witch and I don't. Then I'm going to end up getting potentially 10 in a 2-player game. There's 10 curse cards in a 2-player game. Potentially get minus 10 points, which is kind of a huge deal when you need about 30 to 40 to win. Usually 30 to 40. Okay, so what's my beef with the witch? After I explained all that to you, she really doesn't do much. For 5 coins, all she does is let you draw 2 cards. You don't get an extra action. The other person gets a curse, which they can get rid of. A curse that in the grand scheme of things is only a point. When I buy a curse, my opponent is going to buy a curse. And there's only 10 curse cards in a 2-player game. So as soon as I start playing the witch, the other person's going to play the witch. Usually, in a 2-player game, where each person has 1 witch, the difference in points might be 2 to 3 points. Maybe somebody puts out an extra curse card or 2. Or maybe the other person can't get rid of them fast enough. And yeah, I admit, it does kind of slow you down when you have a curse. But when both people have the witch, all you're doing is giving curses to each other. And the net result is not much. And it's a 5-cost card. When there's a 2-cost card that lets me draw 2. So if I have a card that, like Festival gives me 2 actions but doesn't let me draw any cards. If I have this, for 2 coins, I can get a card that lets me draw 2 cards. The only reason I would buy the Witch is if this card is not available and I need to pair it with the Festival. There's no reason for the Witch to cost 5 coins. There's no reason. Because if only one person could buy the Witch, okay, it might do something. But as soon as I buy a Witch, my opponent buys a Witch, and then all we're doing is just playing the Witch card, which doesn't give you any extra actions. It doesn't. So what happens is this has to be the last card that I play, because I'm not going to have any additional actions. Now, if I have something like the Mine in my hand, that doesn't give me any extra actions. So I have to choose between these 2. Do I choose the card that gives my opponent -1 point and an extra card in their deck? Or do I choose the card that lets me upgrade a silver to a gold? And they cost the same. Obviously, this card is worth more. I'm just tired of the Witch. And I don't understand why people buy this card. Just buy the moat for 2 coins. And the moat protects you. It's actually a protection card. So if I have this in my hand, I can't be attacked. I just don't get it. Who thought of creating a 5-cost card that does the same thing as a 2-cost card without the protection and gives a curse to the other player when the other player is just going to buy that card and also give you a curse, and you don't get any extra actions out of it? It's just ridiculous, and I'm tired of it. And you know what? I just wish the witch would go away. I don't know who came up with this idea, but it bothers me so much that I had to make a video about it.